As a WWE superstar, I've been beat up, I've had broken bones, and I've even had several concussions. But part of the job is watching it all happen to your closest friends. So today I'm taking you behind the scenes of one of those moments. And if you wait till the end, I'll also share a story of meeting two super duper famous people that were also fans of Eugene. Hello to all my friends out there, and today I want to talk about the August 2nd episode of Raw. Came from San Antonio, Texas, and Eugene was not at the show. I was there at San Antonio. I was sitting in the back watching, and me being in the main event picture, in the main event storyline, it was also cool because they were talking about Eugene. The Monday Night Raw entrance is playing, and Triple H cuts it off. I mean, I'm sure he's done that before, but I don't ever remember him doing it. And he came out angry, and the whole crowd screaming, "You tapped out," because the week prior on Monday Night Raw, Triple H tapped out to Chris Benoit. And he's mad, and he's screaming, "Eugene! Eugene! Eugene, get out here!" That kind of hurts my throat, the way he screams like that. Oh my goodness. I gotta get a sip of coffee, and made me lightheaded too. Woo! And no music, out walks William Regal. A lot of people have seen this promo by William Regal, and I'd like to tell everybody that he wrote this promo entirely on his own. Dear, 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 in his posh British accent. What kind of man would let Eugene in the building last week? What kind of diabolical villain would tell Eugene to get involved in Triple H's match? And then Regal looks up with that diabolical smile and says, "It was me, Sunshine!
It was me, Sunshine!"
And this line is probably one of my favorite. "But for a clever man like yourself, it was very foolish to take advantage of a disadvantaged boy, because now you've made an enemy out of me. I will battle you with every ounce of bile and venom in my veins."
And I will battle you with every ounce of violent venom that runs through my veins.
The fans were chanting Regal's name. And he said, "Later on tonight, I'm going to put on my gear and I'm going to wrestle you, Triple H." And the fans are chanting. The fans will cheer the guys they like, but the guys they love, they'll chant their name. And I haven't heard the name Regal that often, but that night, they chanted his name. And in my opinion, that solidified Regal as a top babyface, and he could have been a top guy there on out. And the match they had that night, oh my gosh, Triple H comes out first because it's Triple H, time to play the game. That was water, that wasn't a fart noise. And then Regal attacks him from behind and fights him all over the ramp, all over the stage, over to the announcers, into the ring. And Triple H is getting his behind handed to him. And then out of nowhere, he had a pair of knucks. Boom! Knocks Regal out. And then Triple H proceeded to get some big heat on Regal. And I mean, he beat him. He got the sledgehammer out. He beat him. And then the trainers and the doctors came down, and they're attending to Regal, who's bleeding. And they put him on the gurney, and they strapped him down, which I guess that's what EMTs do, to keep the body secure to the board and on top of the wheel thing. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. You've seen wrestling before, at least once, right? So Regal's on there. And then one of the scariest things for me is Triple H comes and pushes the whole thing over. And he had no way to protect his face or his nose. And I mean, there's a little mat there on top of the concrete, but guys, that mat is it's not thick. It's not that soft, a little bit of cushion, and just rolled over his nose, smashed his nose. Oh my gosh, he had no way to protect himself, put his hands up. And that's one of those things in wrestling that you just got to take. You know it's going to hurt. You know it's not going to be comfortable. You know it's not going to be pleasant, but you just got to sit there and grin and bear it. As the Brits would say, you have to have a stiff upper lip. So people would often ask me the relationship, the true relationship, the behind-the-scenes relationship between Triple H and William Regal, and they're very good friends. When I first started on the road with Monday Night Raw, the first couple weeks before I started riding with William Regal would ride with Triple H. And then eventually Regal decided he was going to be the shepherd and the leader of the van that myself and Tajiri were in. And that was like Barnum and Bailey's Circus on Wheels. But that's for another day, that story. These guys were good friends. And you have to be good friends for William Regal to approach Triple H at that time and say, "I've got a whole idea for a promo and a match that we can have to build the Eugene angle." So after the segment, when Triple H got the vicious heat on William Regal, and William Regal's bleeding a little bit over there, and they wheel him back, I saw Regal when they got into the trainer's room. When they pulled him straight back, they pull the gurney on the side, so he kind of goes a little distance around, and everybody's waiting in the where the monitor is, which is kind of behind the gorilla position, if anybody knows what the heck I'm talking about. Gorilla position is right behind the curtain where everybody tells you, go now, go to the ring, go to now, you got 2 minutes, go to the ring, all the stuff. Down the steps is normally the area with the monitor. And then the trainer's room could be in some room off to the side, and they hustled Regal back there because he was bleeding, and they just wanted to make sure he didn't, he didn't get overly busted open. And by the time I got back there, he was on his feet and he was smiling, and it was a very good segment. Triple H came back, and the two of them, congratulated each other and thanked each other, because that's what we're supposed to do as professional wrestlers, thank our opponent for not injuring us. Although Triple H pushing the gurney over and smashing Regal's face was a little rude, but it's not ballet, boys. And my behind the scenes today doesn't have a whole lot to do with WWE, but more how the cosmos, how the universe gives us opportunities. And I've been around WWE superstars for a long time, and only a handful of them, still make me feel nervous. But when I was around two NBA superstars, not just like mediocre players, like super duper stars, world champion guys, two of them within the span of 8 days, I knew the universe had to be telling me something. Maybe I should have started playing NBA at that point. Maybe that's what I should have done. Maybe that's what the universe was telling me. I don't know. But when I was in San Antonio, in the back, NBA superstar Tim Duncan was there. Oh my God, he was so tall. I got my picture with Tim Duncan. He came to the show. He's a WWE fan. He's a Eugene fan. And it made me feel like on top of the world that, an NBA superstar, a world champion, like a guy that could be on the cover of any newspaper, magazine, on ESPN. This guy's a Eugene fan. And I was happy to get my picture with Tim Duncan. I had my little disposable Kodak camera back in 2004. You wind it up. Now, the very next week, when Monday Night Raw was in Cleveland, we showed up at the arena early, and I'm pulling my bags in, and I'm kind of leaned over like this, and I go in the front door. It was actually the same door when Eugene came to the arena in the episode. That was the door I came in. But I went through the first door, and then my forehead went right in somebody's. He had shorts on, but if it's a belt, it would have been right in his belt buckle. And I look up, and I see his belly button, and I look up and I see his chest, and I look up, and holy jeez, it's LeBron James. And again, I'm not the biggest NBA fan in the world, but I knew who LeBron James was. Who doesn't? And I'm standing there looking at LeBron James. I assume he was at practice, and I assume they were leaving. And there I was standing. Well, not face to face, more like face to belly button. But, and then I started digging for that disposable camera. And it was in my bag, and I finally fished it out, and he was gone. Just like Kaiser Sose. So I missed that opportunity to get my picture with LeBron James. I don't know if that was the lesson the universe was trying to tell me, but irregardless, I met two NBA. I got a picture with one, and I ran into the other one's crotch within this matter of 8 days. That's got to be telling me something. That might be one of those unsolved mysteries that I need to pursue for the rest of my life. All right, I just want to take a poll out there. Everybody that's listening, who of you has telekinetic powers? Raise my hand. If you like this video and you want to see more content from Eugene behind the scenes, click on one of these videos. They are awesome.